Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Don. My name is Kyle Tapaha. I'm the co-chair here. This is a commission meeting on July 13th. Thank you, everyone who has shown has signed into the meeting. Right now, we have the welcome and call to order. Thelma, can you do our roll call, please?
Kyle Tapaha,
Here.
Commissioner Lloyd Lee,
Here.
Commissioner Kim Benali.
Here.
Commissioner Marissa Naranjo.
I'm here.
Commissioner Raven Begay.
Here.
And did I miss anyone?
And then we have
Denise.
I'm no longer a commissioner, so
Okay, so are you a guest or something?
yes, I'm a
Okay,
guest.
attendee. Okay.
all right, and then we have absent Lorenzo Jim, Chair Rebecca Riley, Commissioner Ron Martinez Looking Elk, and Commissioner Kim Gleason. Is there anybody else that are absent?
Commissioner Secretarial.
Secretary. Thank you. Okay, from my count, I have 6. So we do in fact have quorum. Thank you. All right, next on the agenda, we have the invocation. May I get a volunteer to do our invocation, please? I will pick somebody now. Former Commissioner Denise Zuni, would you perhaps be able to give our invocation for the evening, since this is since last meeting would have been your last? Would you be able to do that first?
Yes, if that's allowable.
Yes, please. That would be
Okay. Pwede ko kimpawin ay kikawe ay inapuep umuche inapuep ueche yung ay da ay wawamin ay ye wawami mum ye kuwami mum kimpawin ay kikawe ay nakupiani fiat kuna mi ui yuda na hunta kiwe mo mi na pioshe na vepacha kimpawin bakina weche him ay kuna taipache him ay Hani kukim kawe wan shahamwe inshiki kerim bakim kawe bakim wechiche.
Thank you, Denise. We really appreciate that. Next on the agenda is the approval of the meeting agenda. Dawn has placed that link inside the chat. I'll give you a minute to look it over, and we approve, then we'll approve the agenda. So do we have anything to add? I believe Commissioner Benali, let's see. Oh, okay, you're making a presentation at the task force subcommittee at 6. Okay. I thought that was for us. I apologize. Okay, so it's not adding anything. All right. Has everybody had a chance to look over the agenda?
Yeah, this is Lloyd. I motion to approve the agenda.
I have one correction on the agenda. Let's see, on the commission sector reports and updates, it says Benali update report on Art Center Subcommittee. I believe that's Commissioner Gleason, not me. I think the Kims got mixed up.
All right, Thelma, did you make that update? I apologize, Thelma, you're on mute. All right, we'll go ahead and make that change to item 5B7, Commissioner Benali, and changing it to Commissioner Gleason for the update on Arts Center Subcommittee. And then before we do get that motion, can we change the from Commissioner Zuni under 5B1 to reflect the new commissioner Ron Martinez looking out? Thelma, have you made that change? Oh, Thelma?
Yes, I noted it.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so can we get a motion to approve the agenda with the change items?
I motion to approve the agenda with the amendments.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Commissioner Benali. All right, thank you. And then may I get a vote either, let's see, in the chat? Dr. Lee, yes. Commissioner Antonio, yes. Commissioner Benali, yes. Commissioner Begay, yes. I vote yes as well. Thelma, Commissioner Antonio. Oh, you already got it. Who am I missing? Oh, Commissioner Naranjo. Can I get your vote, please?
Yeah.
And I apologize, Commissioner, was that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so we got 6 yeses. 5 abstain. Motion passes. Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so now we have the approval of the April 13th meeting minutes. Does Thelma, do you have that available for a screen share?
The minutes
Yes, the
for, which, for April?
April 13th, yeah. I'm trying to race to see if I have them too. on my computer. If this is the one, let me see if I can screen share this. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
So I'm gonna scroll down. And if there's any changes, or this is just a review real quick, and then we'll do our voting to approve the minutes. Section 3 commissioners left the meeting. Down to public comments. Now administrative matters. Sector reports. and adjourn. Okay. Do we have any changes, or should we move to approve these minutes from April 13th? Is everybody okay with the meeting minutes?
Yes.
All right, I'll stop sharing right now. All right, can I get somebody to motion to approve the minutes from April 13th, 2022?
This is Marissa. I'll motion to approve.
Thank you, Marissa. Can I get a second?
This is Raven Begay. I motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Begay. All right, if we could get the votes in the chat, please. Commissioner Benali, yes. Commissioner Naranjo, yes. Commissioner Dr. Lee, yes. Commissioner Antonio, yes. Commissioner Begay, yes. And myself, a yes. Okay, motion passes 6-5. Thank you very much. So now. Agenda is going. Okay. That's okay. All right, now we are on section 4, new business. Our community presenter, Taraline Massey, is not on our call. So we'll just go ahead and move forward to 4B, public comment. Terry, if we have any,
Chairman.
Your presenter is here.
I'm sorry.
Your presenter is here.
Oh, okay. I can't see. Oh,
Commissioner Tapaha,
yes, here you go. I see that message.
I believe we still need to approve on May's minutes.
Oh, okay, the agenda that I have that we approved does not have May on it.
Okay,
Mr. Nashbu, can we just add that to our next agenda since we don't have it here, or how can we correct this?
Don, do you have any guidance on that?
No, I think we had to go through with the agenda that was approved.
Okay,
If anyone else on the call, correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah, I believe we do need to put it on the next agenda. The approved agenda did not have the May meeting minutes.
Don's correct.
On it. Okay, so Commissioner Antonio, can we put that on our next agenda, please?
yes.
Thank you. All right, let me go back a little. We do have our presenter. If I could, Taraline Massey with Southwest Women's Law Center is making the presentation on childcare. So if you may, I believe you can share your screen.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioners. Thank you, everybody, for having me today. I also have an intern with me. Her name is Erin Haggerty. I don't know if you're able to allow her to come in. So let me go ahead and just introduce myself really quick before I go to the PowerPoint. My name is Tara-Leigh Massey, and I'm the Executive Director for the Southwest Women's Law Center. And our intern, her name is Erin Haggerty, and there she is. She is, well, I can have Erin introduce herself. Is that okay? All right.
Hi all, my name is Erin Haggerty. As Tara-Leigh said, I am interning with the Southwest Women's Law Center this summer. I am a rising 2L law student. I attend Harvard Law School and I am in Albuquerque for the summer. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. And this is actually Erin's last week in person here in Albuquerque. So she's going to be working remotely on the East Coast. But thank you for having us. So we do have a PowerPoint presentation, and I will go ahead and share that. Just bear with me. Let me know if you can see it, please. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just just to let you know, this is a PowerPoint that we worked on this week, and we have another meeting tomorrow. It's going to be with families, and we were able to get a good number of people registered, but we wanted to use this PowerPoint today for our meeting with you because it is still relevant. And so we're testing it out as well. But what I'm here to present about is the Child Care Next project that we're working on. The Southwest Women's Law Center was awarded last fall by the Alliance for Early Success and three other partners of ours to work on childcare policies in our state. So 6 states across the country were selected, and so New Mexico is one of them. And what the goals are is for us to listen, engage, and share leadership with people who are most affected by childcare policies and systems, to advocate for transformative state policies and investments that will serve children, families, providers, and educators effectively and equitably, and also to build a sustainable base of political power in communities and states that will ensure progress is durable. These are really big goals. And what we decided as a team, this is the list of the team members: New Mexico Child Care and Education Association, OLE, New Mexico, Growing Up New Mexico are our partners, and the state ECD, Early Childhood Education Care Department, is playing an advisory role. So what we decided as a team is that we really want to be inclusive, include the tribes and pueblos in our state, and also the Native Americans living off reservation, off of the Pueblo lands, and within the city of Albuquerque, or Grants, Gallup, just across the state, other towns. So that's what we are intentional about reaching out to you, and also to other stakeholders as well. So our project timeline under this grant is in this next slide. We are trying to finalize a child care policy roadmap by September 1st. And we have been engaging in stakeholder meetings the past few months, and we have been meeting with many different groups, including childcare providers, including tribes, tribal childcare providers, with coalitions, with parents and so forth. So we are getting feedback, and what we're trying to do is put this into a document, a policy roadmap document for our state. And we want to share this back out with some of the key stakeholders in August. And so that's what we're hoping to do. But by September 1st, we should have a draft plan, and our goal is going to be to finalize that and to implement that after September, like, and next year. So that's just kind of like a rough timeline. So who are our partners besides the 5 organizations that I mentioned earlier? Our work is like we are engaging with families, with tribal child care professionals, other statewide early childhood professionals, the state staff, New Mexico legislators, home-based child care providers, and so forth. So these are the different partners that we see in this work that we're doing. So this is for tomorrow, but it's still relevant to you. What is our purpose for being here? Our purpose is to solicit input for our policy roadmap from Native Americans who have used or are using childcare services for their children in New Mexico. I've done several one-on-one meetings with the tribes and pueblos. So we're also working on capturing some of that feedback from those respective positions. So our policy roadmap, there's going to be 4 major areas: workforce, affordability and access, quality, and funding. These are the main areas that we see will be highlighted in our document. I'm only going to talk with about a couple of these with you. So when I'm going to skip this slide because this is for our group tomorrow. We're going to have them do a poll. But in terms of what our vision is for workforce, what we've been working really hard and talking and planning and trying to figure out how to do this is that we want to transform the childcare workforce from low-wage employees to being lifelong and esteemed professionals through valuing lived experience and competencies, increasing compensation, and increasing professional higher education opportunities and pathways. We're hoping that when the state does this, that we will eliminate poverty wages, that there will be a more equitable wage and career lattice for these professionals, and that there will be permanent wage supplements. So what we are asking is for your input and how does this translate? There may be parents here. You had used childcare in the past. So I just ask of you to draw upon those experience. Maybe it's your family members, or what could, what services would have made your experience better or your family's experience better. So those are the kind of things that we're asking for. But in terms of, but specific to childcare workers, one thing that we hear from this group is that they want to feel like they're revered and respected, that they're paid just wages, that they are seen as professionals, that they are able to attain higher education, if they can do that, like if the state can provide avenues to do that. So these are some of the things that we've heard. But the other thing here is that some of the assumptions that we're making is that this professional pathway, like in terms of improving the workforce in our state for childcare, is that it will include childcare. There's a lot of good work that's happening right now for teachers K through 12, But sometimes I think we forget about the early educators, the people who are taking care of our children from 0 to 5. So that's kind of like some of the areas that we're looking at, like how can we improve that, those roles, those skills, their abilities to work with this young vulnerable population. So this is some of the assumptions that we're making is that we're like automatically when the governor says that let's pay teachers more, some of us assume that includes those workforce. But and at times it does, and sometimes it doesn't though. So what are the varied roles and responsibilities? Like in terms of salaries, like we're assuming that they work full-time, full year employment, but sometimes from what we're learning is that it can be, this can be the case, but sometimes it may just be, like part-time or limited time that people are working. So these are just some of the assumptions that this childcare workforce that we're dealing with, that we're trying to address. And there's a little bit more here, but I'm not going to go into those details right now. So my question for you is that we have this, for those, I know the commission here, most of you are probably living here in the Albuquerque area or in nearby communities. But, are there particular workforce challenges facing the childcare providers that are operating off of tribal or Pueblo lands? Like, do you see any of those type of issues? What is your experience? So if you have any thoughts about that, please go ahead and you can shout it out, or you can put it in the chat box. And so Erin is helping me take some notes as well. So I'm going to go back to that slide. So, and this might be a little bit of a harder question because it is for childcare, but there is going to be one that I'm going to ask you to look at for families. So that's more targeted for families. I'm not able to see everybody's face, or screens, but I'm not seeing too much. But so this is a question that we will ask the individuals who will be participating tomorrow. So this is going to be one that we're going to ask for those who are living on the reservations, if there's particular challenges facing childcare workforce in tribal communities. Similar, so this is just a follow-up question to that. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next area, unless I'm missing someone. Kyle, I just see you. So just like let me know if there's if I'm missing something, or if I'm missing a person, a commissioner, or maybe another participant.
No, you're doing well. This was a presentation to us as well too. So
Okay.
and then
All right.
We'll be able to record this in our meeting.
All right, thank you. So the second area, and this is where I think most people are impacted, which is the affordability, quality, and access. Our goal, our vision is to increase equitable access to high quality childcare that is culturally responsive and built on the strengths of our caregivers and broader communities. So this is a vision that we identified. So what are the principles regarding affordability and access? So we think that every family should have access to the child care provider and the setting of their choice, that providers in all settings and all communities are an important part of the child care ecosystem and deserve support to provide care in culturally and linguistically meaningful ways. The state and federal government have a role to play in bridging the gap between the actual cost of care and what families can afford. The subsidy system must be easy to navigate and create a consistent revenue stream for providers. The cost of childcare should be affordable and based on a family's household income. Subsidy rates must reflect the actual cost of providing care. Reducing administrative burdens is a critical component to ensuring that families and childcare providers can utilize the system. Providers need more supports and resources to establish, sustain, and grow their businesses. Considerations should ensure access during non-traditional hours for those with limited access to transportation, particularly for low-income, rural, frontier, tribal, and BIPOC communities. So these are the principles that we identified. Our question for you is, again, asking you to draw on your experience or that of your family members or other persons that whom you may know. What is the most interesting about these principles? Does anything here concern you? And what is missing? So I'm going to take a moment here. I didn't know if anyone is able to unmute themselves or.
This is, sorry, Terry Lynn, this is Lloyd Lee. On this part here, I'm wondering if you have people have talked about transportation issues. There's a possibility that people won't have the ability to go to childcare or to drop them off, and because of a variety of different reasons. But I'm wondering if that has come up.
You're actually the first person that is raising it for this particular group. So yes, so thank you for that. Yeah. We have heard it with other stakeholders, but in terms of like Native Americans, I'm glad to say thank you for bringing that up, and for off-reservation Native American communities. I think we take it for granted, that we think everyone has transportation, can easily get in a car, just go down to that child care center a couple miles away, drop off their children. But but that doesn't happen all the time. So thank you. So you're saying that's really valuable and should be addressed in some way?
Well, I think in some way, yeah. I'm just wondering because the areas that you're highlighting here: choice, cultural and linguistically meaningful, easy to navigate, affordable, more supports. I think those are definitely very important. I'm just wondering about the possibility of transportation and other access that some people may say, well, I have to get my relative to help me, or I have to get someone to help me, a friend or an acquaintance or somebody, to get childcare or something, or I just don't have the time to do that because I'm working constantly. I have 2 or 3 jobs, and it's just sort of those types of things that may come up for, I don't know how many individuals would have that. I don't know statistics surrounding that, how many would need that. Maybe it'd just be a very small number, but it's something that may come up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for raising those issues, lifting them up for us. So let me see. So some of the other affordability and access considerations is regarding like how do we remove barriers for families? And so some of what we've heard is that the state should link data systems across state departments to flag eligibility for childcare assistance for families. Like for example, if someone applies for SNAP benefits, you know, and they're approved, like that information should go to ECD somehow and say like this person got approved for SNAP. It looks like they may be eligible for childcare, how, you know, like follow up with them type of thing. And they have like 2 kids. So that's kind of like one of the recommendation. Some of the barriers that we've heard in the past is that everything is siloed. And so people have to go to different different government offices to apply for these different benefits. The other is permanently eliminating co-pays or capping out-of-pocket costs at 7% of household income. Just, you know, I think there's been some recent moves that the governor is doing on this. Like you might have seen the commercials where she's saying like, you know, you can get childcare if you're at 400 federal poverty level right now. And like you don't have to, families don't have to pay. Like I don't know if you've seen those commercials, but that's temporarily. That's what they're doing temporarily. So it's not permanent. So I just want to kind of point out that. The other is, you know, for those of us who speak, who have English as our second language, we also think about like, you know, getting care in our language in like Navajo or maybe Tewa or Towa. So there's just other languages we think about, you know, that would be good to have available. And this is like really recommendations that we're going to put together. We are going to share with our funder, but we are also going to share with the state and with the state of New Mexico. And we can say there, you know, the commission said this, or the Native American stakeholder group that we heard from, like this is important to them. So there's leeway there in the designing better services for families, and that's kind of where we're trying to get that input from you. And then the other possible solutions, remove administrative barriers and improve supports for providing non-traditional hour care. So this could be for individuals who work after 6 p.m. and work at midnight, or CNAs, you know, people who work in the emergency rooms or hospitals, or provide care at senior centers, not senior centers, but senior homes. So just different places like that. When you know, we have people who work in the non-traditional settings. And then subsidy rates for infant and toddler care fully cover the cost of care, include transportation funding and childcare subsidy rates. So these are just some of the considerations. And we wanted to hear from you. Is there something that what is the main concern or access challenges for children living off of tribal lands that you know about? Or like, are those pretty much kind of captured, do you think, for our Native families?
Hi, this is Reva Begay. I actually work with a lot of individuals or women that do have a lot of those issues that you presented. So I think you kind of captured on everything. I can't think of anything else, because a lot of times those are the big issues about transportation, the affordability, even having the access to childcare are getting there. So I do think you touch on a lot of those barriers there for a lot of women.
Great. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. But you know, sometimes like we just don't want to forget something important, and that's where like this feedback is really helpful. So thank you. And then another question that both Aaron and we've read this report. It's focused at the national level on looking at childcare that's being provided by the tribes. And so we read this report, and this report also talks about how the states can better support those tribes. And one of the areas that this report recognized where the state could do this is by providing more access to culturally responsive childcare services. And we both thought that that was really interesting. We thought it was a really good point and a good recommendation that came out of this report. So that's kind of where we're at now, is like, does the commission, or do you see this as a important service that should be added or that should be better supported? What do you all think? I mean, for our Native families that are living off reservation. So.
Yeah, this is Lloyd again. Yeah, I think it's important. I think since we know about 70 to 75% of Native people live in cities and urban areas around the country now. Many of them don't have access to culturally relevant knowledge from their communities. So in different ways, either through the school system or through childcare or through other means, I think having them have the ability to access that is important. So that's whether that's cultural camps, language nest programs, classes, those types of things. Those I think are important. I think they want them because even though I think many of them have ties back to their home communities, there's a variety of different reasons they're not able to go back on a consistent basis. And so having access to it in cities and urban areas, I think is very important. And I think so this culturally responsive child care service, I think really will be very much warranted in a way that they can have access to that. There's a question I have, and I don't know if this was part of this particular section, but how, particularly for New Mexico, this particular policy, how would it tie itself to the Martinez-Yazzie education decision, and what the responsibility of New Mexico public education is to Native American students? Has there been discussion on that with this particular approach that you've taken and with the policy that's going to be developed?
No, to be honest, we have not looked at this with that perspective in mind, but that's a really great idea to do that. So that hasn't been brought up before, but yeah, so I will take that back and see, how it's impacted, so to speak. But okay, thank you. That's a great suggestion. Anyone else? I'm not missing anyone? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lee. And let me see. So another follow-up question is like, what are the outcomes that are important to you in your child care settings for your family, for your children, grandchildren, or your relative? Are there any outcomes that you think we're missing? I think we answered this earlier, but I just want to make sure one more time. I feel like Terry wants to say something, but he's holding back. Okay. All right. But I think that's the last thing that we have going on. So I do just want to offer, I don't know if this is allowable or anything like that, Kyle, So I'll defer to you. But we are offering a $50 incentive to our participants and to for these for this PowerPoint, for this presentation. So if it is allowable, I can send you the forms that we were asking people to complete and provide. So back to me. So
Yeah, I do not believe we are allowed to receive any compensation.
Okay.
So we are happy to offer space to listen to the community, and these are very important issues to our people. So it is our pleasure to be able to talk with you and for issues like this to be brought up to the city's attention. This is just usually just what our people are working on. So though we appreciate the offer, yeah, I do not think we will be able to do that. I can get confirmation from Dawn, but yeah, other than that, that was a really great presentation. Thank you, Terrell. Thank you, Aaron, for providing us that information and providing an opportunity for the commission to make a few comments. But yeah, it's really great work that you guys are doing, and I'm very happy you guys made it. Thank you very much.
thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate your comments, your questions, and for listening to us too. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So we did have Commissioner Benali exit the meeting just a few minutes ago. She should be back here pretty soon. So I think let's see if it would be okay to give time for new business under section 4B, public comment, since we are done with the community presenter portion. Terry, do we have any public comment?
Commissioner Tapa, we do not have any public comments that I received.
Yeah, I've been sending out the little notes to have people contact you. I did a few outreach events, and yeah, the people are very interested in the work that we are doing as a commission. But I think we just need to strongly encourage people to make public comments. So, yeah, I've been giving out your email address, so hopefully somebody soon will be able to send us something. Right. So let's see, are we able to move on to 4C without Commissioner Benali present, Don? This is approving new action items, but I haven't seen any from Commissioner Riley.
I believe Don stepped away.
Okay.
Yeah, at this point, there's no quorum.
Form.
Yeah.
So yes, so she said, or I'm sorry, Commissioner Benali said she needed about 20 minutes to attend to something else, and then she'll be right back. So if I were to make an update for the Albuquerque Public School Indian Education Department response, my update is, so the NLC had sent a letter to Superintendent Elder, and I got a response that Friday that I emailed him. And I did send a note to the NLC saying that Superintendent Scott Elder received our letter and confirmed APS is moving forward with hiring a senior director of Indian education programs before the upcoming school year. So that is my report, and I don't have any follow-up action items other than just informing the commission that we did get a response. He did call me, and he said that they are working on it. So I think the commission for the support letter that Commissioner Riley had put together, and we approved and sent off. I still have not been able to have any further discussions with the parent committee, the Indian Parent Committee. But the NLC did send their letter and we did get a response. So I just wanted to mention that. So I believe I'll be able to get with Commissioner Riley to see if there's anything else that we need to do and put those action items up for the next meeting for approval. But as it stands right now, I don't have anything. Does anybody have any other comments about the APS superintendent position, or I'm sorry, the senior director position?
The only comment was I did see the advertisement for the position. And I believe there was deadline was in June, right? End of June or something?
Yes, Commissioner Lee. Yeah, that was I sent out a job vacancy that they did repost. So they were listening, and I believe they were making their moves to get this somebody hired. So yeah, I did see that. That was nice.
All right. Yeah, we'll just, I guess, have to wait and see what happens.
Thank you. Any other commissioner comment for discussion of 4C? All right, yeah, so just I'll follow up with Commissioner Riley to see if there's any other action items, and we'll make sure to get that out to the rest of the commission so that they're apprised of the situation and if there's anything that we need. Terry, since Dawn is away from her keyboard, the next on the agenda is a break if needed. May we use this time to wait for Commissioner Benali to return?
Commissioner Tapa, just to let you know, Don is back.
Oh, Don is back. Okay, I apologize. I don't see. I'm using a Linux version of Zoom, so it does look a little different. And, commissioners, would we be able to take a few-minute break to allow Commissioner Benali to return?
That's fine by me.
That's good with me too.
Commissioner Antonio says yes. Okay. Commissioner Naranjo.
Yes, that's fine with me.
All right, may we take a break for about, let's say about 10 minutes. And that should be plenty of time. Would that be okay, Dawn?
Yeah, we will return at 6:23.
6:23. Welcome back, commissioners. Welcome back, Terry, Dawn, and Dawn. So small update, Commissioner Begay had to step away from the meeting, so we do not have quorum when Commissioner Benali returns. So with permission, we restart on our meeting. We are at number 5A, City of Albuquerque updates. Dawn, when you are ready.
Thank you, Commissioner Tapaha. The City of Albuquerque, we did complete our tribal consultation regarding the Albuquerque Indian School Cemetery at 4-H Park on Thursday, June 23rd. We are waiting for a final report to be submitted through our contractors through Parks and Rec Department. From there, we will use this information to continue our consultation with the tribes that were not present. And once we have a consensus or have got more input from the tribal members, we will then move on to meetings with community and additional stakeholders. That is in our forecast for the planning for the 4-H park. Let's see. We are continuing to work with the Family and Community Services Department. So the Gateway Center, which will be a new emergency housing unit at the Gibson Medical Facility, is in progress, and they're hoping to have a spring 2023 opening. And we've been working with them to ask, like, how is the city of Albuquerque going to address providing services and resources specifically for the urban Native community or the unsheltered Native community, as they're the least overrepresented. They're the most overrepresented, but the least served in terms of homeless and housing services. So we are working with them on that, as well as with the commission members here. Housing related, the city of Albuquerque is continuing to work with Mass Design Group, and Mass Design is conducting a survey right now with community and different businesses and service providers to identify needs and preferences of Black and Native American potential homeowners. So the information was shared. If you do have time, please take the survey and also share with your networks. Our office is also continuing to work with the Albuquerque Police Department, the State of New Mexico Indian Affairs Department, as well as the FBI to continue our MMIWR initiatives. Right now, the FBI, they have a new division that's going to specifically focus on creating a database that will provide a more comprehensive overview of missing persons. And they will be offering a training sometime in the fall. And so we are working with their office on kind of coordinating that event. Another event that we had was, when was it? June 28th and 29th, right? My dates are okay. We
Yeah,
had
30th.
a housing fair, 29th and 30th. So there's so many things that happened. So we were able to, we had our tribal housing and home fair. We were able to have 40 different local and tribal housing providers or housing support service attend, and over 600 participants. Over 200 emergency rental assistance applications were submitted, and Navajo Nation did mention that they submitted over 50 Section 8 housing applications, or they received over 50 housing applications. So our McKinley-Vento Title I project also saw 20 different families that were experiencing homelessness. So the event was a really good event, and I think it provided a critical need to our community. We are in the process of planning for a tribal housing summit in October. We are wanting to do it, I believe, on October 11th, the day after Indigenous Peoples Day. And the goal would be to really look at some of the things that we learned through COVID, how they amplified a lot of the dysfunction or a lot of the inequities our housing systems play. So we want to kind of like, what are some of the lessons learned? What is our current situation, and how can we improve systems navigation between services here in Albuquerque and also on the tribal nations. So we are in the process of planning for that, and we have sent out some save the dates. So we're hoping to have more information before the end of this month. And lastly, we are also looking at excuse me, what are we wanting to do for November for the Native American Heritage Month? So now would be a great time to kind of show interest and see what is the planning process. We have been forecasting with the mayor's office that we do as a city want to host an annual Native American Heritage Day or event to kick off November, the first Saturday of every month, and make it an annual event. And so we're definitely going to be needing community input and community participation in the planning process. So just want to put that onto the forecasting piece. And I'll go ahead to turn it over to Mr. Sloan for any additional updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Just to add a few more comments on the tribal consultation. We had the Navajo Nation represented, the Pueblo Zuni represented, Ute Mountain Ute Tribe represented, Isleta Pueblo was represented, and the Pueblo of Laguna and the Pueblo of Santa Ana were represented, where we had Santa Ana governor and lieutenant governor in attendance. And then for Ute Mountain Ute was Chairman Manuel Hart was also in attendance. And then from Zuni, we had a councilman, Arlen Zate or Kate. So it was a very successful, I believe, tribal consultation. We got a lot of information on what the next steps and what they would like us to do. What we're planning on doing from the report out of the consultation, we had two breakout sessions. And so we're going to be combining reports from those work sessions. And then we'll then be preparing a report, which we'll send to the tribes and the tribal leaders to take a look at, provide us any feedback or thoughts or comments on it. And then we'll ask for an approval of this report. And we'll then take that report to be utilized for the next steps when we begin to put together the working group, which will then create a strategic plan on what we will do with 4-H Park. And that strategic plan will include the community, relatives, families, tribes, and stakeholders, and anybody that wants to be a part of this working group. So that will be the next steps as we move forward. And of course, we may hold additional tribal consultations just to further get additional information or clarification on the tribes that were not able to attend. We did get offers from 2 tribes to host our next tribal consultation. So we might be holding it at Ute Mountain or else at Santa Ana Pueblo have offered to host the next tribal consultation. But we got great information. Mayor Keller was there. He provided opening remarks and a statement on the work and his thoughts on what the cemetery and what the Albuquerque Indian School represented. And he also provided an apology for the city's role in the park itself to the tribal leaders. And well, again, we'll keep you apprised of that. We were blessed to have Rebecca Riley and Commissioner Thelma Antonio in attendance, who provided and participated in the consultation, working with the tribal leaders. And additionally, on a couple more items on the Albuquerque Native Housing and Home Fair, which we call Protecting Our Families, Protecting Our Homes. We initially had invited about 9 tribally designated housing entities, and we did have 4 that showed up. We had To'Hajiilee Navajo Housing Authority, the San Domingo Tribal Housing Authority, the Tamaya Housing Incorporated, and then we had Laguna Housing Development and Management Enterprise, which was there. And then the goal was really to assess and provide assistance in preparing emergency rental assistance applications for particularly our Dene relatives, but also for other tribal representatives. And what we did find out is several of the tribes particularly Laguna, their latest round of emergency rental assistance was inclusive of all tribes in the United States. So it wasn't particular to just their tribal members, but they can assist any tribe. So we had a lot of our attendees that came that if their tribe wasn't there, they were able to go and speak with Laguna and talk to them about getting assistance, which we did help them with. And then we also had Section 184 was there to help provide assistance and information on how housing purchases and getting loan or housing down payment assistance. We had Presbyterian Healthcare, we had Blue Cross Blue Shield, we had YDI, we had Youth Group Wings of America, and so forth that were part of our overall group. And then we also had city departments there, Family and Community Services, our Health Services Department, and then our team that provides rental assistance and utilities assistance was also there. And I believe over the 2 days, we probably saw around 500 people come through and visit. A lot were very appreciative of what we were providing. The goal was to provide like a one-stop shop for this particular event. And so it was pretty close to that. You know, we almost had everybody there we were hoping, but we did learn a lot on our next steps for the next housing summit, which Don mentioned earlier. And then also what was really great was that First Nations Community Health Source really came through and providing assistance on completing and processing applications. Particularly Ms. Veronica Johnson was very hardworking, like 10 hours a day, getting things together for our Dene relatives and other tribal members. And we had food, of course, and it was a very nice setting that we created, because the goal was also to create a safe space for people needing help and needing assistance, and not shaming them for being there and making them feel bad, but we wanted to make them feel welcome to come and get help, get assistance. And so it was a broader issue too, because we had groups of people come in that needed help right away, where they're actually living in their car with children. And so we were able to get them housing vouchers that day. And so I believe they were able to get some housing that night or for the next couple of days after that with hotel vouchers. And then we were able to get them additional guidance on where to go next to get potential housing assistance for a long-term basis. And we did reach out to HUD. HUD SWANEP will be a part of our housing summit coming up. We did contact all our congressional delegation. We had Teresa Ledger Fernandez's representatives come to our Thursday event, and so they were able to visit with us, talk about the issues, and go around and to talk to some of the participating groups that were there. Ben Ray Lujan's team was supposed to be there, but unfortunately they couldn't make it. But they did call me and apologize that they couldn't make it, but they want to be a part of our next housing summit. Same thing with Senator Heinrich and Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury's team. So we'll be looking at a broader event. Again, we'll be inviting tribal leaders, and of course all the TDHEs, which are tribally designated housing entities around Albuquerque and then within the state, to also participate in that event. And that's it in a nutshell. Thank you. Any questions?
Terry, this is Kyle. Yeah, well, actually not a question. So I did have a message sent to me. One person had mentioned that toward the end of the event, most of the providers had left, and they just wanted to leave a comment that she had to drive or had to get an Uber to make it to the event, but still didn't see a lot of the providers. So that's just something that came across the desk. But yeah, it was really good to see at the home and housing fair the amount of people that were coming in, getting all the useful information. And I did overhear a couple of situations of immediate need, and I believe they were trying to get them situated. So thank you, Don. Thank you, Terry, for putting that together. I did see that it was very respectful from the beginning, and you know the intent and the people utilizing the resources are there. So we do want to invite you know, other commissions, other government entities to an event like this. So did we have the save the date set for the next summit?
Yes, it's October 11th. And we're also anticipating having it at the convention center.
Okay.
And also, commissioners, I would like to commend Commissioner Kyle Tapaha for his work and participation at the event. He was a great ambassador for the city, but also for the Commission on American Indian Alaska Native Affairs. And he got around and talked to everybody, held his ground at the table, and met with various, I guess, leaders of the city that came through, leaders of the native groups. And so he was very well received, and he did a great job. So thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Yeah, it was really good to see that many people come together, and I heavily promoted the commission. People don't know we're here, so we need to do a little bit more promotion, getting our organization and our mission and vision out to the public. But yeah, thank you very much for that, Terry. Very well appreciated. Thank you, Don, as well. The next up on the agenda, 5B, is the commission sector reports and updates. We have, let's see, Government and Tribal Representative, Commissioner Antonio, do you have any updates?
I do not have any updates at this time.
Yeah. And then under the updated agenda item, we have the change from Commissioner Zuni to Commissioner Martinez looking out. So my update, Denise, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. No updates other than to say that Ron is very excited to serve on the commission. So he should be at the next meeting.
I will track him down.
Okay, and I enjoyed working with all of you, and keep up the good work, everyone.
Thank you, Denise. So on behalf of the commission, we wanted to send you a very big thank you for being a part of the commission, for showing dedication and support to all communities here in New Mexico. So Denise, thank you very much. I know at our last in-person, we were at the ribbon cutting, so I do have that picture, and I'll share it with the commission. And again, just from the bottom of my heart, and with every commissioner here present, just thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for being part of discussion, conversations, bringing up what you want to, that you think is important to our community. And you know, Denise, you embodied that. So again, thank you very much for being a part of it. And we're looking forward to seeing you at our meetings again as a community member. So thank you. Continue being safe and well. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Tapa. I also would like to thank former Commissioner Denise Zuni. It was a pleasure working with you, and on behalf of the city, thank you. Your contributions and your work was invaluable, and you will be missed. And but feel free to let us know anything, any thoughts, ideas. You're welcome to public comment with me if you want, of course. And then again, you're invited and welcome to attend any other further meetings with any ideas or thoughts that you may have. And of course, anything you want to provide input from the tribe would be fantastic. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for everyone. It was nice working with all of you.
Thank you very much, Denise.
Yeah, thank you, Denise, very much. It's great working with you.
The next 5B1, education. Dr. Lee, do you have any updates?
No, well, yeah, there is the New Mexico Public Education Department, along with the Institute for American Indian Education at UNM and the Native American Studies program, we have been hosting these virtual Zoom training opportunities. And so there are 3 additional training opportunities at the end of this month and early August. Let me see if you can see my screen here. There's one on July 28th on sustained learning anti-racism. These are short online training sessions, 90 minutes. The second session is on Friday, July 29th at 9 a.m. Sustained Learning History of Indigenous Peoples. And then the third is what is the linguistic landscape and its importance for our New Mexico students. This is on August 3rd. And I believe this is at 10 a.m. So the New Mexico Public Education Department has this on their website, as well as the Institute for American Indian Education. So if you're interested, this is open to not just educators, but to anyone. So this is all online, it's free. You just need to register. That's the only update I have. Excuse me.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. If you are able to, can you send that to me? I'd like to send that out to my networks as well.
Okay.
And then we could definitely put the link into our mini minutes. Thank you very much. Okay, next is 5B, let's see. 3, Commissioner Jim is not available. B4, Chair Riley is not available. Let's see. Commissioner Begay signed off. Again, a reminder that we don't have quorum environment. 5B6, Commissioner Naranjo, do you have any updates?
Sure, thank you, Chair. So I just wanted to give the Commission update and overview of the New Mexico 50-year water plan that's currently being developed by the Office of the State Engineer and Interstate Stream Commission. It does have an accompanying tribal water report and set of tribal water recommendations that I and Lori Loyaki, as contracted through the Indian Affairs Department, have been working on in consultation with tribes and pueblos across the state to contribute to this. So I just wanted to provide a quick overview. As you all might know, as I mentioned, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham last year had called for the Office of the State Engineer and Interstate Stream Commission to serve as the lead agencies to develop the state's 50-year water plan. And the plan will serve as kind of a high-level summary to inform policymakers on how to best prepare for the impacts of climate change on our water resources over the next 50 years. So the New Mexico Bureau of Geology and Mineral Resources had convened a team of New Mexico scientists to compile research, technical reports, and data sets that really examine how climate change will impact our water resources in the state. This assessment is called the Leap Ahead analysis, and it provides the foundation for the 50-year water plan. And that Leap Ahead analysis, if anybody is interested, is available on the New Mexico Bureau of Geology's website, and I can put the link in the chat also. But to ensure the inclusion of our tribal nations and Pueblo nations in development of the 50-year water plan, the OSC and ISC had requested support from IAD, the Indian Affairs Department, to provide that. So IAD had responded by creating a tribal water work group in September of this year. And at IAD's request, tribal leaders had sent designees to serve on this tribal water work group in an advisory capacity. So the work group has consisted of really a diverse group, including tribal water technical experts, hydrologists, natural resource professionals, tribal historic preservation officers, cultural leaders, all of who have really provided a lot of guidance and technical expertise in serving their respective tribes on water issues. So we've been meeting with the Tribal Water Work Group since September 2021 and gathering information and gathering recommendations to be incorporated into a tribal water report and set of recommendations. And we just had our last tribal water work group last month, and we've been drafting and finalizing the report to submit to both the Interstate Stream Commission and the Office of State Engineer and the Indian Affairs Department. But I just wanted to let you all know where we kind of were in that process, and I'm happy to share the report as soon as it's finalized and submitted and reviewed by all of the agencies. And I think it's going to have broad implications for both, at the municipal level, at the local level, at the county level, and at the state level. There's a set of, I think it was 13 recommendations that we had landed on that actually intersect different governments within the state. So really excited to share that with you all and move some of the recommendations forward into implementation, including those that are specific to the city of Albuquerque.
Thank you, Commissioner Naranjo. Yeah, if there's a way, maybe you'd like to do a small presentation of findings, and if there's anything that the commission can help with, we could definitely put that on the next agenda.
Thank you. That sounds great.
Thank you. All right, next one, 5B7 are the at-large members, which is comprised of myself, Commissioner Gleason, who's not available, and Commissioner Banal. So for my updates, I've been working with, doing some outreach. So I was at the State of the City with the mayor and just providing support. I did a table event there. It was really nice. Sent out some information. I was also at the tribal housing, or the housing event that Mr. Sloan had mentioned. So handing out more information about the commission, as well as the free internet services that we are signing up through AIO to qualified Native families, and I'll send a link and I'll put that in our next meeting minutes. One of the things that I've been helping out with is doing some awareness for New Mexico Crisis Line. So if you follow me on Facebook or you follow AIO, we've been doing a lot of awareness for the number 988, which is similar to 911. 911 being for emergency. 988 goes live on the 16th, this Saturday, and our communities across the nation will be able to dial 988 to get in touch with their local crisis center. So we've been doing that. There is a NLC meeting. Well, let me do the background of it. So there is a third Thursday meeting at AIO, third Thursday luncheon on July 21st at noon, and our guest will be Warlance Chi. He is the CEO of Saad Kirilia, and he'll be talking about their exciting news of moving and opening up a new facility in Northeast Albuquerque. We have the Native Leadership Collective meeting on July 27th. We invited Sarah Barbroff from NACA to talk about APS, some of their processes, getting the community to see how APS operates, and seeing how the commission can better assist with that. I've been doing outreach to the Asian community as well. Pretty soon AIO will be talking about getting out to vote. So we are just gearing up partners. I'm going to be reaching out again to the Black community as well, the community engagement team there. But yeah, there's some of the updates that I'm working on right now. Next is Commissioner Benali. Do you have any updates?
No, not right now.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, so then, so we did change the agenda to reflect that Commissioner Gleason was doing an update on the report, but unfortunately she was not able to attend. So that is the end of our agenda. We do have the next item. Do we have any other comments? Do we miss anything?
Commissioner Tabaha, what was that crisis hotline number again?
So the year, on July 16th, you'll be able to dial 988 from your phone to get in touch with the New Mexico crisis line. So that just, is this just shortcut to get to the hotline? The regular number, I think, was 273 talk. That's a national line, but yeah, we'll have access to a local crisis line. So, but 988 is the number.
Thank you.
Oh, and if let's add, I apologize. Let me add on the URL for more information, 988nm.org. So that's the website that gives more information about that. Should have wrote that down. Okay. All right. Is there any other comments?
Just a quick question for Don and Terry. You know, the Navajo Nation has its presidential election taking place. And so after the primary on August 2nd, there'll be a general election with the two candidates. And so I know that the students may want to organize something at UNM in terms of a debate. Would the office of the city be able to support that? Or do you have to stay out of that as a
Yeah.
political?
I think we'll have to double check. I do know that we are not able to endorse or support any specific candidate. However, you know, this isn't necessarily an endorsement. It would be more of a town hall piece. So if we can get the specific request, you know, like that the city, like what would be the ask of the city when you ask for help? What does that mean? Would it be technical support? Would it be communications outreach? Once we have a clear ask, then we can forward it on to the mayor's office or to our directors here in OEI.
Oh, well, I'm thinking it's going to be just getting the word out, communication, because I think they're going to set it up at UNM. They'll, you know, for them, for a student organization, it's very simple and it's free.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure whoever the two candidates are, they're willing to come and talk to the students. But I think the other thing would be try to get as many people from this to the Albuquerque area, you know, to come to that particular debate or town hall to see this. So I guess getting the word out would be my perspective in this. I mean, it's totally going to be up to them, you know, when they meet in August, when they come back, when the fall semester starts.
Mhm.
But I'm thinking it's just going to be communication, nothing else.
Okay. In terms of comms, it is my understanding that any type of community events that happened, we can definitely promote that through any of our social media accounts. Now, if we were to use additional resources like press releases or like the comms official channels in terms of like the TVs or things like that, those would use, or to post on the website, those would need to be official city sponsored or city hosted events. So in terms of this one, it sounds like we would be able to assist with the promotion through social media, because we do that for all community events, and it's not endorsing one candidate or anything like that. It's just creating an awareness that a town hall will be available, so we can share that. But if there's anything more than that, then I think that's when we would need that request, official request from the commission, or as you as a, you know, a professor or the student organization can send it directly to our office.
Okay, all right. I'll let them know. All right,
Right.
thanks.
All right, well, thank you very much, commissioners. Thank you, Dawn, Terry, for being here. So we have item 6 is adjournment, and just our next meeting will be August 10th at 5 p.m. So we are adjourned. You can't vote on it, but yeah, if you close the meeting, it's 7:01.
All right.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Bye, Denise. Thank you, Thelma.